Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, July 26th. On the impact map, we expect lightning to start popping up across northern Nevada today. A mix of dry, some wet. We'll have to watch for the possibility of initial attack later today in some of those areas, but lightning at this point seems more isolated. Tomorrow looks like the bigger threat day with widespread mixed wet and dry lightning from the California border all the way through northern Nevada into northwest Utah and maybe parts of southern Idaho. Moisture pushes further northwards into Idaho on Tuesday, becoming a bit more wetter across some of the higher terrain up there, but definitely lightning a main player the next couple of days. Had some lightning yesterday, some strips of mixed wet and dry across northeast Nevada and far southern Idaho. Mostly wet lightning further north and also across eastern areas of the Great Basin as well as the higher terrain of the Sierra. New fire starts in the red. You can see initial attack has picked up. Numerous fires in many quadrants. Existing fires in the yellow. And precipitation, the past 7 days, you can see the heaviest rain amounts across the central mountains of Idaho as well as eastern Utah, but lighter amounts elsewhere. That will be the main concern. You can see where our ERCs are the most critical, 80th to 90th percent, where you see the areas of red across western Utah into much of eastern and central Nevada. ERCs have modified a little bit in southern Idaho, but they will be drying out towards later in the week once we get into a more significant warming and drying trend, and still critically dry in the far western portions of the Arizona Strip. The further east you go, obviously, the more moist. 10-hour fuels show are very dry, 3 to 4% 10-hour fuels in this red shade, just about all of Nevada, western Utah, and almost as dry in the lower terrain of southern Idaho as well. Satellite imagery shows already instability clouds along the Utah-Nevada border and the Arizona Strip moving northwards. This will be the first round of some lightning as just enough moisture peels away from the traditional monsoon to give us lightning, but a bit more on the drier side. Otherwise, this high pressure ridge kind of taking a negative tilt, bringing heat and dryness to us and also the Pacific Northwest. So for later today, there is that ridge of high pressure with the dryness in place across our northern areas. Little subtle blips of moisture through here is where we could see some isolated thunderstorms. We have no high risk for our area. The flow pattern should take most of the activity into northern California. You can see that lightning activity there, but you can see these little tiny blips through here. There will be some isolated lightning across northern Nevada that will have to be watched today. Some wetter lightning across the Uintas. Wind field fairly light. Now for tomorrow, notice we do have high risk for just about all of northern Nevada and northwest Utah. The moisture deepens as the instability deepens, so we have a bit more coverage through here, areas in the green that will have to be watched. And there's our precipitation here on the left-hand side covering much of northern Nevada into northwest Utah via a mix of dry and wet storms, maybe poking up into southern Idaho. That'll be, again, something we'll have to watch. Wind field fairly light, but wind starting to pick up in southern Nevada. Not critical, but 15 to 25 mile per hour afternoon winds. Now notice we have high risk here on the right-hand side moving up into southern Idaho in the lower elevations of the Snake River Plain on Tuesday. There'll be lightning further north, but it should be getting wetter over some wetter fuels in the higher terrain of Idaho and western Wyoming. You can see the moisture here on the left-hand panel. Precipitation there, you can see how much more moisture shifts northwards here on the left-hand side. Wind field, again, not strong, but in some spots in the dark green we could see gusts of 20 or 25 miles per hour, and some of these areas would have had recent lightning, so have to keep an eye on that situation. 3-day precipitation totals seen through here on the light side across most of Nevada, heaviest across our eastern areas. Now further down the road, high pressure starts building in on Wednesday, Four Corners high, but it is absent of monsoonal moisture. Got robbed by the hurricane that made landfall earlier in Texas. See our fire potential on the right, and you'll see it drying out as we go into Thursday and Friday as that high pressure ridge builds in, but the monsoonal moisture stays south in Mexico, and by next Saturday, dryness covering much of the region. You can see how many areas that were in the green or yellow have also dried out, so we will be quite dry a week from now. 7-day precip totals much similar to the first 3 days, and the 8 to 14 day now shows a continued dryness bias across the four corners, meaning the monsoon will not be very active during this time, so our southern areas should be drying out along with above normal temperatures. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.